W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo-katipunan, kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo-katipunan,
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Sa Blue Eagle kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan.
Jescom Music Ministry. Music that uplifts the soul. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/radyo-katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
Katipunan.
Lead X. X is for the extracurricular life of the Ateneo College students. X is for the X factor that transforms them into leaders, into men and women for others. X is for Lead X. Lead X.
Down from the hill.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Voice of W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New
New
Wave.
Wave
Surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there. Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's your midweek gang who's always ready to hang, coming at you live through Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM via Zoom. I'm Max. Austin is silent, but this is New
And
Wave.
I'm Austin, and this is New Wave. Yeah, sorry
All right,
about that.
there was a bit of a delay there, but all right, so
Yeah,
it's been
there
summer
was.
for about 2 weeks now. Have you been feeling it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's because of the whole pandemic that it kind of feels like there's always like no school, but at the same time, there's always something. You know what I mean?
My gosh, I have to disagree with you there. I really felt school. Until now, I still feel it. So it was just enlistment and, well, load rev is going on for those who need
It
it. So
is.
yeah, it's hard to run away from. But either way, one thing I did notice since you brought up the pandemic, inevitably, is I saw a rise in student businesses and enterprises. And a lot of them are thriving on social media and because of social media, because right now it's a really good way to connect to people despite not being able to be physically together.
Yeah, it is really cool like to hear about all these like really cool what this business is going up. I mean, even my friends and like I think a lot of us know one or two people who are always messaging you saying, "Oh, help me with my business and stuff." And I think a really cool example of this business is Moody Manila. Yeah.
That's right. So, joining us today for our local find, which is Moody Manila, is from 3AB Psych, Mark Hoven Lim. So, Mark, please turn on your camera and tell us all about Moody Manila. For those who love coffee, now's your time to listen. Hi, Mark.
Hi
Hey, Mark.
everyone. Hi Maxine. Hi Austin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, tell us about Moody Manila and how it started.
Okay. So Moody Manila will turn 1 next month. So actually, like during the earlier months of the pandemic, like me and my brother decided to set up an online business, an online coffee business, since he was a barista in the US pre-pandemic. So I do share the same passion and love for coffee. So he taught me how to make cold brews. So afterward, um, I actually asked my friend if he wanted to be my business partner, and then he agreed. So he focuses more on the marketing side of Moody, so all about the branding, the pub mats, and the IG stories, while I do the finance, the finance, the logistics, the product management, and partnerships. So it really just started with a simple logo and packaging, which then improved over time.
So, did you actually find this? Did you actually discover doing this coffee thing, learning during the pandemic with your brother, or has this something that you guys have always been kind of doing? Like, you've kind of been watching your brother, or you kind of dabble in it a bit yourself.
Yeah, actually, before pandemic, my two brothers make me like coffee every day. So I think we're really a coffee family. So I think it's something that we really do with every like free time or when we are available.
Nice. All right. So, out of curiosity, where did the name Moody come from?
Oh, actually, my friend um, suggested Moody since we're really close, and he always say that I'm kind of moody. So that's so coffee really makes someone in a good mood every day. So that's something, yeah.
I have to agree with that. I remember when we were back in school, a day would not be complete or would not be able or would not be easy to go through without the morning cup of coffee.
But yeah, what can we expect from your menu? Because you've been doing this for a year now. Do you have like a lot of menu items that you can offer?
Okay, so we actually do have 6 flavors. So that's mocha, caramel, vanilla. So vanilla is our bestseller actually, and of course cold brew concentrate. So all cold brew drinks, and then we also expanded our menu just recently. So we added locally sourced coffee beans. So just to cater customers that who don't really like pre-made drinks. So yeah.
All right, that's going to be fun to try. So, as a first time orderer, what would you recommend? Like, what should the first thing someone introduced to Moody Manila order?
Okay, so maybe vanilla and caramel since a lot
All
of
right.
our customers really liked those 2 flavors. And if you really want a, dark, so you can buy the concentrate.
Okay, well, that sounds really exciting. And now I'm craving for coffee and I want to try Moody Manila. So, Mark, please plug your social so people know where to find you and also describe how orders are done. Hello, Mark?
Hello.
I,
Are you
okay,
free?
sorry. Yeah. Okay. So we are actually live on Instagram and Facebook. So on Instagram, it's at Moody underscore MNL. And then on Facebook, it's Moody Manila. So we actually do have an application that is available on Play Store and App Store. So you can download Moody Manila on Play Store and App Store.
All
Ooh,
right. That
sounds
sounds
really good.
exciting and a very convenient way to order actually. So all right guys, don't forget to download that app so we can go start getting coffee. So
Ooh, we should get some coffee ourselves. Actually, seems
actually like
really
right after
interesting.
this, parang right after
Yeah,
this, like it's a good weather for coffee.
yeah, it does. Honestly.
Yeah, so anyway, thank you Mark for joining us today and telling us more about Moody Manila. We'll be sure to check it out.
Thank you so much, guys.
Don't forget to leave your
Thanks.
socials
Yeah,
on the comment section of the Facebook Live so people know where to find you.
guys, be sure to check it out.
For sure. Now, I genuinely mean it. I really want coffee. So, anyway, today on New Wave, we'll be doing things a bit differently. So, for the first time, we'll be having a roundtable discussion. And what better to have a roundtable discussion about than our experiences from the past year? So, joining us today are hosts from Magis Radio and fellow Ateneo students. Please welcome Ingo Sid, Joaquin Querido, and Angelo Nieto. Hi guys, turn on your cameras. Nieto, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that background.
Yo, yo, what it do?
I
What
was
it
not
do?
expecting that.
It's good to be back
So
here, man.
Hi guys.
It's a nice background. Makes you look like the Messiah.
Yes,
Yes,
I
well,
mean,
well, anyway, I don't know if it's seen on Facebook yet, but I hope people can see it soon because it's funny. Okay, so I mentioned so a while ago, Ingo and I were talking a bit about how Magis kind of changed for this school year. Like instead of doing radio shows like this one, you guys have been more podcast type. So how has that been, and what would you say is the main difference? So Ingo, I think you can start with that.
yeah, I think the biggest difference is there isn't music in our shows. A big part of our shows when we were live on air, live and not podcast format, was we had music in between. So we'd talk for a couple minutes, play some songs, and talk again, play some songs. And that part was really fun because when we're doing it live and on the fly, when we're playing music,
Mm-hmm.
it gives a different experience to it. In podcast, it's a whole different format. We're just talking. And as much fun that is, radio in general has always most of the time had music in it, so it was kind of a big adjustment. The music also gave us some breaks in between whenever we're talking. Now we have to talk for like 30 minutes straight, but we get to talk about the things we like, so it's still pretty fun.
Oh,
and if I may say so myself, I guess it's a lot easier on the newbies who hop on Magis Radio just this year, because I think like the podcast format is way different from online radio, but I'd say it's a bit more forgiving because you can mess up during the recording session, and like you can rely on your programs and sounds team to just edit out your mess ups along the way. Like it's really more forgiving. Yeah, forgiving is a really good word to describe it. So yeah, and also just being on Spotify as a podcast I don't know. It's a different trip from just being an online broadcast on Mixler. So yeah, I really do. I appreciate our new podcast setup just as much as when we were still in the fourth floor of the com building. So yeah, fun.
Now that you mentioned the com building, actually, I was going to say one thing I miss about doing things like this in real life is actually getting to be in the studio. Because it
Yeah.
kind of adds to the thrill, right? Like you're there in the middle of all the equipment. You see everyone with you, and like when you interview someone or you're hosting with someone, reactions are a little more genuine because you get to see each other. Like it's more organic. You feel the energy in the room. Unlike kind of unlike now where we're on a
Yeah.
video call setup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you
generally,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
Oh yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, because I've never really. I feel like compared to you guys, I've only recently begun doing this thing maybe last year. So as we were getting to the pandemic, so I probably only really experienced the whole booth experience maybe like once or twice if I'm not mistaken, right, Maxine?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and like I feel like yeah, I know what you guys are saying that like it is easier to have that vibe of like no, feeling the energy of the room and just like being able to bounce off one another and like you don't get those technical difficulties, right? I hate those. I mean, just a while ago, that really sucked.
Yeah, for sure. Joaquin, do you have anything to add?
I mean, I'm not part of Magis Radio and I don't listen to podcasts kasi. So, wala din ang masabi. Pero, congrats guys on the nice transition, I guess, to the online year. I see the efforts. And then again,
Thank
oo
you.
nga uh, most of the, most things right now, di ba, online. And I guess podcast has boomed recently over the
Mm-hmm.
past few months. It's something that everyone has been consuming na.
Yeah.
Especially since you just, diba, listen to it so you can do anything
Mm-hmm.
na while listening. Pero then again, I haven't yet listened to any podcasts.
But you've been on a lot of interviews this
I,
past year, Joaquin.
I have
Your
been to a
career,
lot.
it's growing.
I have been to a lot of. Maybe I should be the one to start my own podcast.
Why
Actually,
Yeah,
not?
that-
Why not?
Why
Go
not?
for it.
There's so many podcasts coming out right now. Joaquin's thoughts.
Nga eh, baka may oversaturation lang ng market. We have to be quirky.
and you're perfect for that, Joaquin. Perky. That's like you.
Thanks. I know.
Well, anyway, looking back at the past year, I remember when all of this started, we just thought we would be out of school for like 2 weeks, I think. And then it became a
Yeah.
month. And
Yeah.
then it became 2 months. And then, well, here we are. And over that past year, there have been many phases. Like there was a Dalgona phase, there was a Dalgona coffee phase. And then there was the Among Us phase. So how did you guys participate in that? Before I say how I did.
Dalgona coffee, I've never been able to try. Actually, random. I recently just started drinking coffee in the pandemic.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
big change for me. Like right here, I got some little bit left of iced coffee. It's not from Moody Mondays yet, but you know, I'll look into
Soon
that.
will be.
Yeah. And the Among Us was pretty fun, not gonna lie. When it
It
was
was.
popping, especially, at the same time, you got to catch up with a bunch of friends, like 10 people you
Yeah.
haven't talked to in a while,
Yeah.
That's true.
and you're all trying to accuse each other of stuff. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Not gonna lie, the Among Us phase, I kind of miss it, but the game's kind of dead too. But at the same time, I don't know. A lot of people did not want to play with me because I ended up just killing the whole lobby in 2 rounds. So that was kind of
Wow,
not fun for
okay.
everyone. Subtle flex, like top one imposter Philippines.
You're
Just
all right, bro. You're all right.
Okay, we've got a professional imposter here. That's good to know.
Oh man, controversial take. I was never really a fan of Among Us.
That's fair.
Like, yeah, because like I felt like everyone was telling me to play like Among Us, and then I tried playing it. I was like, I think I'll just play like other games. I really like Ghost of Tsushima. To people who like playing video games, that was a really cool video game that
Love that
came
game.
out
Yeah.
last. There we go. See, that was
Yeah.
a really dope game. Like just fighting off people in Japan. That's where I
The-
want to be.
Fighting the Mongol Empire. Yeah.
There
Great
we
game.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, video. Oh, Joaquin, go ahead.
I feel like something that I also started doing nung pandemic is baking. Like, pero then again, cookies. Cookies pa lang yung nabibake ko. Pero like every day or every week, kasi I follow, I know a lot of people. So nakita ko sa mga stories nila. And like every day, I see someone just baking or cooking something. Tapos nakakaingit kasi I don't know how to do that. Cookies lang yung alam ko. Then again, tas yung, kasi I think there was one day na nasa grocery ako, tas I saw like yung pre-made na ano na siya cookie dough mix. So I didn't make it from scratch. Kaya, tas simple naman yung instructions. Pero like, alam mo yun, parang other people nakagawa sila ng bread itself. Like, mga sourdough or mga ganun. Tapos parang ako, how? How does that happen? Science?
Science. That was the exact word in my mind. Science.
Yeah.
Stepping
I remember
stones,
a lot.
Joaquin, stepping stones.
I remember a lot of people were getting into the whole sushi bake thing though.
Oh,
Like
Yes.
even my mom decided to make like sushi bake and my relatives.
Sushi bake's weird, man. Like it's like fish lasagna. Like when you think about it, like don't deny
It
my
is.
God.
Yeah, it is. It's like a casserole type thing, right? Yeah.
You know, sushi bake is good, but now that Nieto phrased it that way, like, oh, sushi bake is a fish lasagna, I'm not gonna get that out of my head. And
Oh,
I
it's
still
so
have
weird.
ingredients for it. Like,
Am I wrong though? Am I
Nah,
wrong
you,
though?
you kind of have a point. I feel like everyone just wanted sushi, but we couldn't get sushi, so let's just get the bake. Let's just make bake or something. Yeah.
yeah, because I think there was a time people were saying like it was a bit dangerous to eat sushi since restaurants weren't open and you wouldn't know how to prepare sushi properly at home. So they said, okay, compromise, sushi bake. Well, now
Right.
fish lasagna.
Cooked fish.
Thanks for that, Nieto.
Trademark fish lasagna. Yun na yung bagong product na ibebenta.
That'll be our local
Depending.
find next week. So Nieto, you have a week to turn that into a business.
What, fish lasagna into a business?
Fish lasagna.
No way, dude. Oh my god. Does anyone still actually like? Is there still a market for fish lasagna? I mean, ano nga natin? Sushi bake?
Sushi bake.
Sushi bake. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, like, is there a market still for sushi bake at this point of the pandemic? Like a year and a half in, is there still ba?
There's an all right market for
Yeah.
sushi bake. For fish lasagna, though, that might be something new. You might wanna-
Exactly. It's all in the repackaging,
It's a
Nieto.
rebranding. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see how we can make this work.
Because, like, you know, what I noticed is when sushi bake became a thing, there were people that were so eager to make it. And then there were people that wanted to try it but didn't want to make it. And that's where the market for it came from.
Right. So like people didn't know how to make sushi bakes, but they wanted to try it out. So like, are you telling me that I should get into like instant fish lasagna? Like
Feeling ko
instant
magbo-boom
ramen?
yung fish
Oh my God.
lasagna.
Yeah, you can do that. Like Nissan instant fish lasagna.
Yeah. Parang microwave mo lang, tas ayun, meron ka ng, you know what I'm talking about though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, no. I wish there were more stuff like that because when there was lockdown, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, shit, I really want to order something and I can't.
Watch your language,
There we
bro.
go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yo, I just get too emotional about those times, you know? I really want good food.
Get very emotional about fish lasagna too. I understand.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we all do. But, you know, speaking of being hungry at 2 a.m., I still think I'm at that phase of quarantine. I don't think I've ever left that phase, like getting hungry in the middle of the night and just looking for a snack. Of course, you want to eat something quick.
Raiding the kitchen, yeah.
Di kasi kayo natutulog ng maagi.
I mean, why? Why
Kahit-
would I sleep at 10 p.m.?
Sleep is important.
Who sleeps and no.
Okay,
you don't.
Joaquin. Okay, we get it. You sleep. You have a regular sleep schedule. We understand. Okay.
O hindi din. Mga 12 hours ata yung sleep time ko. Like, I sleep. Alam mo, I'm just a hypocrite then I don't sleep early din.
Ayun naman
Oh.
pala eh.
I sleep so early. I sleep at like 10 or 9.
Di ba? Be like Austin.
Yeah. But then I wake up at like 3 because like I really have like a really bad sleep schedule ever since the whole thing.
That's when
PM.
you raid the kitchen.
A-
That's when you raid
AM.
the kitchen.
At 3 a.m. Akala ko 3
Yeah.
p.m.
That would be such a wild
No.
sleep schedule. Like you sleep at 10 p.m. and then you wake up at 3 p.m. So you're just awake for like 7 hours of the day.
That happened once. That happened once. I slept at like 5 p.m. when I came home from school and I woke up, it was 5:30 a.m. And I was like, shit, Shoot.
There you go again,
Shoot,
Josh. We're going to
what?
kick you out of this call.
You know when I get really emotional about things, just let it ride. But yeah, like I didn't even get food. I didn't get to do any of my homework. So I was just like racing to school. But I felt so alive. Felt like I slept for 10 years. So
Well,
that was like a
anyway,
good trade-off.
to get Austin out of his emotions about sleeping, let's talk about the things we've been watching. Because let's be real here, being at home all the time, all of us are glued to the screens, binge watching, or if you have self-control, saving things for weeks after. So, what would you say were the nice movies and shows that came out like over the quarantine? Because I think there are a lot of good stuff.
Ang dami.
Yeah.
There's just too many.
Okay, so Joaquin, tell us one. I always see your Twitter alive with your reviews and ratings.
Uy, okay. No. Kasi I regularly tweet nga the things that I watch. Tapos there's just months. Kasi I divide my time between shows and movies. Like, I have months dedicated, the entire month for, okay, movies lang paparnin ko. And then I have an entire month for shows lang. Tapos I have a tracker for it. So, I mean, if you want to check it out.
Wow. Okay.
Ano ba yung notable movies? Wala pa akong maisip on top of my head. Maybe kayo. Do you have any ba?
I mean, for me, like, I've not been the one to really catch up naman with shows or new movies or anything. I don't. Parang nakakapagod to catch up with the trend. So, like, parang pass na ako dun. But for me,
Sure.
I noticed, I've been doing a lot of, like, catching up on, like, older movies releases. Like, I remember last week I watched the very first Transformers movie all the way from 1986, which is kind of sakto kasi just last night they announced a new Transformers movie, kind of fun. And ayun, parang nire-relive ko yung childhood ko na hindi ko naman talaga childhood. It's like the childhood of the generation before me. But like, it's really weird seeing how stuff was animated like a few decades ago compared to now. Parang almost half a century ago. But it's kind of weird. But aside from that, I've also been watching with my guys every Saturday kasi we're still lucky enough to have regular movie nights na we can commit to. So I remember we've been watching a lot of horror movies. Like, I remember we watched this one South Korean horror film on like a haunted asylum, and then that's all I can remember right now. But yeah, I'm not been on the new stuff as much lately because there's always a lot of stuff to revisit talaga.
And maybe feeling ko since it's been more than a year na sa pandemic, and na, kasi for me, sometimes I get scared to start shows na na ang dami ng seasons. Like, let's say kapag mga more than 10, kasi that's a lot to catch up, and I don't like binging kasi ayoko yung parang I just watch the one show until I catch up. Like, I cycle through shows kasi. Pero one show that I noticed that a lot of people started during the pandemic kasi they have a lot of time now is Grey's Anatomy.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it. I saw it coming when you were like a lot of seasons. I was like, this is going to be Grey's Anatomy. I just feel it. No, I was like, I was right.
Okay, kasi I started Grey's kasi nung senior high. Tapos I'm all caught up. So, nasubaybayan ko yung season 17 kasi. So, Grey's has also been renewed for season 18.
Oh
So, that's a lot. And
18
like,
seasons, wow.
yeah, tapos a lot of I see a lot of friends na nagsistart ng Grey's kasi I feel like they have a lot of time. Kasi before, I don't think they would watch. Pero because it's also on kaya nasa Netflix na din. Kaya I think they started it. That's one thing na may nag-point out lang. Grey's started a year after Friends ended. And
okay.
18 years later, naabutan nila yung Friends reunion. On air. So parang, wow, they've been on air for that long for Friends to have a reunion.
I was gonna say 17 years. That's a lifetime. I think that could be the freshman batch that's incoming this year.
Oh my God.
Like that. That's so
Yeah, that is,
weird.
right?
Mga 2005?
I think so.
2005? Yo, no. No. What do you mean these children were born 2005?
guys
Ay,
are
oo
old,
nga.
wow.
Right.
Weird. It's weird.
Hi, freshies.
Hi, freshies. But you get that feeling like, okay, so you're talking to like the freshies, and then like you find out, oh, they're born in 2005, and you're like, wait, child from 2005 is now taller than me, talking to me, breathing, and you're just like, wait.
Bro, in 2005, I was about to enter Ateneo grade school. That's so weird. No, I don't want to think about it like that. No.
2005, I was like around 5 years old. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, I think that
Same,
was the same with
same.
me too. Like, I think I was 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 6. We have memories of 2005. I think that was the last time I went to Disneyland in the States. Good times,
But
stress-free times.
But yeah, I also noticed that like I was watching a show. I don't know if you guys know this. It's a show called Close Enough. It's on Netflix. So it's a show about like older people and having kids. And I notice all the old people are making 90s jokes. And like I get a lot of them. I'm like, shoot, I remember when I was a kid, like the older batch would be talking about this stuff. And I'd be like, oh, now these guys are parents. That's wild. And like we're next.
You
Yeah.
know, I actually saw a tweet. There was this one Stan account that just showed up on my Twitter feed saying like, "Oh my gosh, this video made me feel old." And then it was a video of Disney stars, and I don't mean Miley, Selena, Demi. I mean Sabrina Carpenter and her contemporaries. So that person was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so old." And then someone retweeted and said, "Wait, if this makes you feel old, what am I?" Because like those Disney videos that I remember, Miley, Demi, Selena, like that era, and to bring it a step further, the era of Hilary Duff, Lizzie McGuire, even Stevens, That's So Raven. Do you guys remember those shows?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think I saw the same video or similar one on
Mm-hmm.
my Twitter like a few months ago, and I'm like, who are these people? Like, I cannot name a single person from this lineup. I was like, who? Tell me, who are these people? So we're in our 20s, and in a few years we'll be in our 30s.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yuck,
I don't
yuck,
like
yuck,
Please
yuck.
don't say that.
No, our primes are being, confined in our homes. Not the best vibe, but it is what it is. You know what I
Who are
mean?
you to decide when your prime is, man? Don't let age define that.
Whoa,
I like that
Ingo has
saying.
a
That's a good
point.
saying.
Ingo has a point.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Michael
Wait,
Jordan was in his prime when he was like 30 something.
when's
You
your
know,
prime? Do you know?
Once yours,
every
Ingo,
day,
when we
every day,
decide yours.
every day is my
Let's
prime.
go. That's the vibe.
Every
That's
day,
the vibe.
every day where I'm waking up at 4 p.m. eating my bananas and peanut butter sandwiches to wake up. That's exactly what I did about an hour ago because I knew I had a show coming up. So,
Vibe.
you
It's a
know,
vibe.
I still feel
That's
like I'm
Healthy
in my
good way.
prime.
That's
It's
a
about
good
the
way to live
mindset.
pandemic.
mentality.
No, you don't want my mentality. You're better off being yourself.
Be yourself.
Wow.
What was that
Wow,
Frank
wow.
Ocean song? Yeah. Be
Oh,
yourself.
oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Wow,
Well,
too
actually-
Not so
much, too much
philosophical.
bombs. Too much philosophy bombs. I thought I had enough of philosophy last semester, but it keeps coming back.
It comes back to haunt
I
you,
keep
man. It stays
thinking.
with you.
There's
Your
no
mind just
escaping the
thinks.
philosophy classes. Like I
Yeah.
remember there was one time, I think it was either last semester or the semester before it, where what we were talking about in philo kind of just applied to every other class I was taking, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is my Ateneo education. This is what we're all here for.
Yeah.
So ano
And
yun? Ano yung nag-apply to all?
here's the thing. I don't remember what it was, and I'm sorry. A lot has happened since then. So anyway, speaking of, since we're kind of talking about ACAD, so I don't want to go too deep into that. How was the adjustment like for you guys? Because for me, like, I personally had a bit of a difficult time because it was just hard for me to not be able to ask professors questions in real time when you didn't understand something. Since, especially in the beginning, most of our lectures were pre recorded or it was just readings. And then when you didn't understand something, you'd have to email your prof or send them a message on Canvas. It would take a while to reply, and then you need to understand that to be able to move on. So it was just very different from the classroom experience. And then until now, I wouldn't say I'm fully used to it, but I'd say I've found ways to cope. So how was it for you guys?
I mean, I was there during intercession, like the very first intercession,
Mm-hmm.
when we shifted to like online learning. And bro, that was the weirdest few months of my education
Was.
because like, I had like I think 2 classes I was taking at the time, and one class was on Canvas, the other was on Moodle. And on top of that, they also had sobrang different ng styles of teaching nila. like one class had an info dump every week that we had to power through. And then yung other class ko naman, parang it's more output based. So parang really step by step kami. Almost every day may bagong post, which I guess helps with pacing. But also I can tell that's really that's taxing on the prof then. So ayun, really weird. And then once we move on to the regular season, I mean not regular season, regular year, right? Um parang things aren't falling into place just yet, but we have the show must go on.
That's so
So
true.
all these major academic events were happening, at least for me during my time, like junior thesis, Max, you were there. And even the other majors that I had to take to catch be on pace with my IPS. So yeah, really weird time.
Before we continue, Nieto and Ingo, you have a fan. Say hello to Mr. Tim Acosta.
Yo!
Hey Tim.
Hey Tim, what's up? Okay, no, I
Tim
can't
is one
say
of our
anything.
really
Sure.
good friends. He
Yeah.
is actually working right now. He's an alumni, and we're glad to be able to keep in touch. Yeah,
Working on the weekday as usual. Yeah.
yeah. That's what you do when you have a job. You work on weekdays. It's wow, life is tough, isn't it?
It's the grind. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still also online. And for me, my online experience was well, unideal, if I can say. Right, Max, you mentioned how difficult it is. Like you can't ask them questions straight up. I feel the biggest difference for me was you had to go there. You had to go to class 3 times a week for that class, like 3 hours total per week. You didn't really have that. You had like one synchronous session every 2 weeks, which even if you didn't go to, like nothing would really happen to you. I think that's what I'm missing from this online environment was the sense of urgency that
Yeah.
wake you up, wake up. You got to go to school. You got to do this. You got to do that.
Yeah.
And for me, for someone who might have a little trouble managing time, that was really helpful. That's my take.
I feel like one big change then that happened, like difference between yung first and second semesters, like the big chunk of it was how profs structured the classes. Kasi how classes were nung first sem, like for example, you took like Theo 13, 12, 13 nung first sem, di ba? Tapos di ba may evaluations? Kasi since let's say it was the first time that ginawa online, they were seeing okay, how do we do this? How do we approach this? And then pagdating ng second sem, it would have been different now from how it was nung first sem. So yung experience of the students with the same course could be vastly different. Kasi like I had in one of my majors, like yung sa BS Psych, they took it like nung first sem. Tapos ako second sem. Tapos based from their experiences, I think they had a harder time. Ayaw mo sabihin kung which major na to. Pero I think they had a harder time with it. Tapos kami, parang, ang chill. Kasi nung una natakot kami, like parang, lalo na yung dun sa, yung prof na yun, natakot kami, parang okay, parang heavy, baka scary. Pero when we went through it, the class, like, oh, this is amazing. Like, super galing nung prof, ang ganda nung class. So I really think sobrang different anong experiences. Tapos it might still be different for the next few semesters. Especially na ang dami pa ding changes. Lalo nang semestral na siya.
Yeah.
It, diba? Tapos same pa din yung weight nung workload.
Yep.
It's just more time. So parang how would we have longer times to struggle, longer times to despair?
I was thinking that because when that announcement came out, I was kind of like, okay, so with the pros of having it semestral again is the work will be more spread out because we're not chasing the midpoint anymore. Like we're not going to be switching subjects in the middle of the sem anymore. So I was like, okay, that's good because that's one thing I struggled with. The fact that like, okay, we're about to start this subject and then 3 weeks later, I'm doing finals for this subject. What just happened? So
very
right?
output based.
Yeah, so that's not gonna happen anymore. But the question is, how will it be like now that you're taking more subjects? Like, yes, it's prolonged, but it's gonna be a lot more. So how is that gonna be?
Sabay-sabay pa sila. So parang wala din nagbago.
I mean, I really hope it like just offsets each other because the one thing that made the call it, quarterly setup, not work for music. It felt like an intercession na thon. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
parang minamarathon mo dalawang intercession. And it feels like it
Anim na
feels
intercession lang last year.
yeah. Like, hindi nga eh. Like, for people who took an intercession prior to that pa, 5 intercession kami, ayos, di ba? But
Yeah.
the point is, it sort of, it really, it, it, it's like, parang sprint na ginawa mong marathon. So I really hope that this shift back to a semestral setup, it really just slows down our pace just enough so that we're working at a sustainable pace. Yeah, that's just mine.
For sure. Like, I hope that because it's semestral, there won't be subjects planning their heavy requirements at the same time anymore. Because, like, I feel like that was
Please.
something we had to deal with in the quarterly setup because we had no choice. Like, this was the time you're given. So, naturally, everyone would plan things at the same time. But now that it's semestral, hopefully things are more spread out.
Eh, kasi gano'n naman talaga, you can't expect like the different departments, okay. Like, okay, theology, ito yung week nyo, philo, ito yung week nyo. I think based pa din, I guess, sa class, sa students. Kasi gano'n naman din talaga nila ine-edit yung timeline, I guess, nung class based sa subjects. Parang, oh, ma'am, sir, like, meron kaming requirement for this. Lalo na kapag different courses pa. So, we'll see. Gusto, although looking forward din to semestral kasi I feel like kapag quarterly, it's just that very deadline based siya. Like,
Yeah.
yes, we kind of learned things, but I feel like eto na ba yun? Like, parang, is this it? Parang I feel like, hungry for knowledge. Ganon.
Yeah, you're like, you don't have time to appreciate what you're learning, kumbaga. And I feel like that's such an important thing for some subjects that the school really likes to, really wants to give importance to, like the core subjects, philo. You need a lot of time to appreciate that. And we didn't really have that time. I mean, I would like to say I did my best to do that, but I really feel that I would have gotten a lot more out of my experience if we had more time. But it's okay. We're still, we have to play the pandemic by ear in a lot of ways, even, and that especially goes for the academic route. So I don't know. Let's just hope for the best, man.
I feel like that's kind of a bad thing though, because it's like we're learning, we're doing all these things, but we're doing it for the degree. We're not really doing it to learn. We just kind of wanna just do the deadline, make it, get your degree, get out, instead of like appreciating what you're learning. And like I agreed with Ego saying a while ago, like I couldn't I like having a school to go to so I can like compartmentalize. Like you can have like your family stuff or your personal stuff at home, which you work, and then you do all your stuff at school. But because of the whole pandemic and like you're working from home, it's like it all just jumbles into one thing. So like for me, that's also like why it's been such a hard like transition. Yeah.
So, Ingo, would you have any song lyrics or knowledge for that?
No, I agree. It'd be like that. I
do be
remember
like that sometimes.
Austin, you mentioned at the start where you feel like school's not there, but it is. I kind of got
Yeah.
that. I kind of got that.
All right, I'm not alone there. Nice.
I'm at home, right? I'm at home, and the school environment is so far away. Like I'm in Paranaque, so it is pretty far away. Not as far away as Max, but I'm still pretty far.
Okay.
And the fact that I'm just at home, the place where I usually relax, I feel like I'm supposed to relax, but at the same time, I have to be productive.
Totally.
It just
So many mixed signals coming in, like what to do, and
Yeah.
like how to manage, like make the most out of your time and do what you really want to do, and not like have any regrets in like how you spent your time. Yeah.
Alam mo yung parang for the past few months, like nung earlier times pa nung pandemic na we would do anything like just to get back to normal. Parang okay, I would have a 7 a.m. PE every MWF,
Yeah.
tapos 8 a.m. pag TTA. Just give me an 8 to 5 p.m. na every day just to be in school. Like, we would just have that. We would sacrifice that just to get back
Yeah.
to school. Maybe until now, pwede pa din, sure, pwede pa din umasa.
I hope so, please.
I remember people were saying like, "Oh, I'd be so willing to have a bell to CTC alternate every day. Just bring me back." Yeah,
Hated
but
having classes like that though. Have you ever had those types of classes like I would be dying when I'd be at the next class.
I
But
mean,
shit, good memories.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Cov Koto Arete class at one point in my life, and
That is
um,
crazy.
yeah, I load revved after the one time I did it. So,
At least you came from the Cove
yeah,
Carts, so you were doing
yeah,
PE, so you're kind of warmed up to walk all the way back to
yeah. So
Arete.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
good
we're
ex.
warmed
Yeah,
up. So, but it's also not fun anyway. But
yeah,
yeah,
probably
there's
not.
so many
Probably
things
not.
like looking back now, you appreciate all the little things, even if they're like inconveniences. But hindsight 2020, they're what makes life at in college so fun.
You know what I
Like
miss?
what? What's up?
Remember when it rains and you had to walk through red brick road,
Yes.
and if you step on a brick,
Mm,
the water explodes on your footwear.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a lot of
Parang
fun. It's like playing,
Oh
yeah,
minesweeper.
playing
gosh.
Minesweeper
Yeah.
in your own campus. That was, I miss that. The small things, the dry leaves on
Yeah.
red brick roads when it's dry instead.
It's crunchy.
Yeah, you step on crunchy leaves. Haven't stepped on a crunchy leaf in
In
a
a
while.
minute, in a minute. No, you're not.
The small things, yeah, the small things. We think about the big things a lot, what we miss the most, but just the small things, small interactions. You go to
Yeah, like
class, you after
small.
class, you have
Yeah,
a break, you have lunch with a friend, or go to the org room and have fun. Those are the things I miss the most, really.
yeah.
Just the interactions, the small interactions like that.
Tapos alam mo naman yung
Or-
mga big things that would change. Like imagine like at our pace right now. Like inisip ko, I don't think the freshies and sophomores would have physical classes for the next few years then. So
Mhm.
imagine there's just like a lot of years. Like yung the last batches that were on campus, hindi na makabalik. So imagine Ateneo culture, how
Oh
different
yeah,
it be on campus.
That's
absolutely.
so true.
Imagine if all four
Yeah.
batches, first time nila on campus. Tapos they don't know anything. Hindi nila alam kung saan kung ano yung mga places, kung ano yung mga tawag. Baka
Yeah,
iba na yung tawag
yeah.
nila, iba na yung mga
Yeah.
hangout
Oh
places.
wow.
It'll
Wala
be
nang mga
reset.
Zaggy G.
Oh my gosh, please.
Like you gotta
Imagine, no,
think.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah, and
parang.
like,
Mm,
yeah, to
go
you
ahead.
first.
Ay, sige. Like, naalala ko tuloy because ORSEM season's coming up soon.
Mhm.
Parang how would ORSEM be if there's literally no one to pass on-site information anymore? Parang after us, yung incoming juniors na, yung huling may any on-site experience at all, and like after them,
kukuha sila ng
it's not
alumni.
it's not a far
Yeah,
cry to
alumni
think,
TNT.
yeah, it's not a far cry to think na wala na yung nobody with on-site experience gonna have to run welcoming the freshies on site. So that's kind of scary, not gonna lie. So
feel
Why
like
not
it's
ORSEM for all
also
the years? ORSEM for all the batches, di ba?
yeah.
The
But I
grand
feel
school
like
tour.
it might be a good opportunity for new things to come up, right?
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
true. But for sure, Ateneo culture is gonna change because, like, on what Joaquin said, there are going to be a lot of unspoken rules that no one's going to know about anymore. Like, do you guys remember along Sec Walk, this bench would belong to this org, this
Absolutely.
table
Yeah.
belongs to this study group,
Lalo na
like,
yung sa MVP.
right? Like, there are no labels. Nothing's on paper, but we all kind of just knew you don't stay there because this org stays there. You don't stay there because this group stays there. That's not going to be around anymore if the batches are all stepping onto campus for the first time. And that's going to be new. That's going to be very new.
New meta,
Mga
new meta.
org culture pa, di ba? How they would handle events, like mga
Yeah.
venues, di ba? Parang they don't know how to run things
I have an
physically,
idea.
di ba?
We come back
Literally.
after a couple of years when that happens and see the chaos for ourselves. Let's see what's happening.
I would
I wonder which
imagine.
I wonder which really cool group would be hanging out outside the library, outside the bookstore.
Kung sinong org yung,
It's gonna be outside the bookstore, just
Oh
sitting
my
down.
gosh.
For all we know, it might not even be recognized as a hangout spot anymore.
Yeah, because they might
Maybe,
be like, oh,
maybe.
that's a walkway. Why would we sit there?
nga,
We're
ba't
gonna
natatambay
block
dun?"
people from the elevator.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. Well, I imagine how that would be like. You know that SpongeBob meme or that
Oh.
Regina George meme where she's like just standing there and then everyone's
That's
running
okay.
around.
Oo.
You know?
The chaos.
Yeah.
Nobody's
like-
yeah.
Oh yeah, you first.
Nobody's gonna clap anymore once a chair falls down.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
no.
Because that tradition came with like the batch of 2020 ata, like a certain barkada from 2020, and then the people who still eat at Gonzaga, they just carried it on, and now nobody
Ano ba,
eats at Gonzaga
2020?
anymore. I
That
believe batch
recent?
2020 sila. I believe
thought
batch
it was
2020
older.
sila. I
And then
don't
batch
know.
2020 sila. So, they had
Yeah.
like 2016 to 2020 to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, right. So wala nang papalakpak once you drop those really clanky, na chairs sa
Uh-uh.
Gonzaga.
I feel
And
like we
hydro
have to
flasks.
make an archive of all the things that was pretty normal pre-pandemic, and when it's post-pandemic, or like BP, like BC, but like before pandemic.
AD.
AB and
AD.
BP.
Oh wait, yeah, AD. Yeah,
Yeah.
make something like that. So 2030 AD. Have someone tweet out everything we used to do, and
Gotta do
let them
this.
look at it in awe.
Chinese
Like,
Indian food.
just-
That's probably not coming back after the pandemic.
no, I hope it does, man.
I hope
really
it does,
hope
though.
I think it
That was
will.
great.
No, you know what? There should just be a section in the old live, Ateneo history. But then it's all everything that happened between 2010 and 2020.
Just everything from Twitter from 2010 to 2020.
Yeah.
Put it there.
So have you guys like thought about how they're gonna repopulate JSEC once we can step foot on campus again?
Repopulate.
Repopulate JSEC.
Repopulate.
What do you
Word
mean?
choice. Like, how are we
What
gonna
word would you guys
repopulate
rather
JSEC?
have? What word would you
Okay.
guys rather have? What word do you guys use? Like, how are we gonna have? Which business owners are gonna fill up the stalls sa JSEC? There, sige.
Yeah, actually,
What's-
that's a really good
ano?
question. Like, nobody participated in the challenge.
Yeah.
Wala nang song
Ah.
supremacy sa JSEC.
It's gonna be Nieto's fish lasagna. What are you guys talking
Oh
about?
my God.
That's where it's gonna
That's
make its
fair.
debut.
It's fair. Puro mga pandemic food like dalgona, sushi baked BTS meal. Yeah, it's fun.
BTS meal in JSEC.
Actually, yeah, just open a stall and just have it all be like all pandemic type food. And like it's just all the don't call it a comeback.
But okay, wait. Something I want to bring up since we were kind of talking about like those unspoken traditions in school. Do you guys remember the advertising game of a lot of the performance art or orgs? Like they
Yung
would
mga,
have
yung mga mobs.
yeah, like remember when the fountain turned red for Carrie, or TA
Noted.
had the Ako Mob on Sekwap? Like right now, all of those campaigns are online. So what's it gonna be like when we're back on campus also? Because let's say reset, completely new batches, they would not have seen those. So what'll the new ideas be like? Kaya we
You
used
know
to
what
have
they've seen?
Tressa level marketing, if you guys
Yes,
remember.
Absolutely.
Right?
I just remember the library elevator and
Oh
the
my
mirrors in the library bathrooms. They were
Yeah.
all beloved and
Mirrors.
stuff for Carrie.
Yeah, that was great.
Theater orgs naman sila, they're always quirky. They're gonna think of something.
Yeah, I mean, it's really. I have faith in the future of
Oh, yeah.
of EA creatives. I'm excited.
But when do you think when do you think we're gonna go back to normal?
2045.
Ingo, no, please.
No, I'm kidding.
No, please.
That was a random statistic a friend sent me. Like 2045. That's when in the Philippines, where everyone's sort of vaccinated and everything's kind of normal. I hope
Yes.
not, man. I really hope
Isipin
not.
mo pa yung mga big events in Ateneo, no? Like Under the Stars or Valentine's in August. Yung mga ganon, like, or mga RIB. Like, would they still be the big events in Ateneo? Or may bang mga magsasprout na mga bigger events or like mga orgs on top? Ganon or something.
I think definitely it will start slow for sure.
Yeah.
When it comes back, it'll definitely start slow for maybe first 1-2 years, but eventually it'll be back to where it was. I feel.
Yeah, we also don't know how protocols are gonna be like when we're back on campus. Like, will they be allowing the same amount of people
PPE.
per event?
Please.
No. Okay, but given that, like things we're looking forward to. Before we went live, Ingo and I were talking about how you really want things to be normal again. You're looking forward to things going back to how they used to be. But at the same time, we've been in lockdown for so long that you're also kind of like, how do I reintegrate myself? What am I going to do?
Society.
Do I still know how to act in front of people? Do I still know how to make eye contact? So you're also kind of like, what's that going to be like? How do you guys feel about that?
Eye contact thing is gonna be pretty
Really?
intense. Right now, I'm not even looking
Tapos
at any of you
yours.
guys' eyes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at a screen.
That's
I
O
only make
alam mo
eye
yung
contact with my family.
yung kapag sa face mask, di ba kasi everyone's wearing face mask. So kapag when someone removes it in front of you, tas sobrang intimate na nun. Kasi you can see each other's mouths.
Yo, okay, that's weird when you
That's
say it
next
like
level.
that. Okay.
Kasi it's a thing that you
Wow.
don't normally see na. So when you see someone's mouth in public, tas you're talking lang, di ba? It's parang, oh, that's so intimate. Parang, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting your mouth and your words to me, exposing yourself, di ba? Being naked, your naked truth in front of me. Thank you for doing that.
That's the new meet.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How
that's
to
the new
flirt in
meet cute.
2021.
Joaquin thing I've ever heard in my
Don't-
life.
I've never heard that someone say it like that. And
I know.
don't-
Rom-coms in 2025 will be like that, like the slow motion meet cute. They remove their mask.
Meet you with
Oh,
mask.
wow.
Oh man.
Tapos di ba meron yung Japanese na yung nakaslash yung mouth niya.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Ah.
That's so different.
Yung
dude.
Alam
Vibe
niyo,
change
di ba?
180.
Alam niyo, di ba yung Japanese na myth na parang my girl
Oh,
na nagtatanong
oh.
parang, am I pretty? Tapos if you say
Oh,
na
yeah,
she
yeah,
is,
yeah.
tatanggalin niya yung mask niya, tapos naka-slash siya, tapos slash din yung mouth mo, para pareho na kayong pretty, something like that. Just Japanese
Halloween
things.
Where
ideas.
do you get these ideas?
Oh my
Hindi niyo
goodness.
ba
I like it.
yun?
I
It's
like it. I
Japanese
like it.
myth. I forgot kung anong tawag doon, pero yun.
Yeah, and if you say no, she's gonna murder you or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I
oo.
understood.
Tapos, yung kailangan mo sabihin parang, oh, you look okay. You look perfectly fine. Ganon.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Be
all I
neutral.
was thinking about when Joaquin started saying remove your mask and smiling is how now, when you see people you know when you're out, it takes you a while to realize, like, wait, they don't see me smile. Like, you really have to wave or say hi or something. Because
No,
before on campus, you could walk
no.
around and be like, hey, yeah, just smile at them. But then now, like, you're gonna look masungit if you just smile because they only see your eyes. And then it's covered by a face shield pa. So it's like, oh, wait, it looks like I ignored the person.
Bro, smile with your eyes. Like, on, like, it's very. I think that's what I've read somewhere that that's the differentiator between a genuine and a fake smile when you don't smile with your eyes. So I don't think it's a problem when you're masked up and you smile at someone. You're gonna see it through your eyes. So I guess that's how you weed out your fake friends from your real friends.
Fam, it is a problem. Face shield glare. That's all I will tell you. Face shield glare.
Di nod your head, move your head. Hindi mo ba minumove head mo kapag like gumaganon ka or something, di
Do
ba?
not do these peace signs, bro. Oh, nothing. Okay, that's on you.
That's pretty cold, Max. Even without the mask, when someone says hi, you just go like, then you keep walking.
Oh, gosh.
Ang classic Max.
God.
Actually is.
Or
Okay.
hindi
Taking
yung
my
parang
words out of context.
yung hindi mo sila nakikita muna, so parang gagalo mo na yung ulo mo, parang sino ka? Parang
Why is it like you're doing a dance?
Bad eyes.
kasi hindi mo makita. Who are
That's the
you?
next TikTok dance, you guys. The I can't see you.
Nanchino was already doing that for a while.
Ooh, got you there, Max.
Gosh, you guys. Okay, well, anyway, since we're about to end, let's get real philosophical, theological, Frank Ocean for a minute.
Oh, here we go.
What's the most important thing you've learned the past year? Or what's something you didn't expect to take away from the last year?
Secret.
Huh?
Wow, okay, Joaquin. Because of that, you're starting.
Sige, moment
on.
of silence muna. Moment of silence.
Moment of
What?
silence
We
in
can't
that
have
case.
dead
Austin
air on
first.
air? That's
Oh, okay. So I guess for me, like probably what I learned the most over pandemic is like if you have friends and like they're your real friends, you're gonna find a way to like we'll just make it work. Because over the pandemic, I feel like I've connected more with friends who like I maybe lost in touch with, but I feel like we were like genuinely friends. So a lot of those friends came out and like I kind of lost in touch with friends that I was friends with only because I saw them on a daily basis. So yeah, that was for me the biggest lesson I learned. Yeah.
You know, on that note, my realization is a bit of the opposite. Like, I think we have to be more understanding than ever now, because sometimes when people disappear, it's not because they want to, but kind of because they need to, since situations are super unideal right now. Sometimes them disappearing or taking some time off isn't their fault, and like, you really just can't blame them for needing the time to be by themselves or to just recuperate. Because as I said, like it's been pretty difficult mentally and physically for a lot of people. And that doesn't make them a bad person. It just means they need some time.
Yeah, that's
Joaquin, I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Hindi, okay, actually, kasi wala din maisip. Pero like, bouncing off from you, I feel like, yun nga yung personal time. Kasi like, for me, throughout the pandemic, I found myself wanting more time alone. Parang just by myself doing things. Kasi on a normal base, like dati, like, I would have preferred company, di ba? Kasi of course the physicality of it all, parang being with company. Pero now, it's not the same kasi kapag video lang. Parang, okay, it might feel the same like kapag yung mga study calls, mga work calls, parang just silent. Kasi that still feels different when you're studying tapos you are in video call with someone. Tapos kahit tahimik lang kayo. Like the comfortable silence of it all. Pero yun, same lang with you, yung the personal time na I wouldn't expect everyone to always be online, to immediately reply. Ganun kasi not everyone has a gadget near them to be able to reply. Like, it's not attached to our hands, diba? We also have different lives, diba? So, yun, that's the most important lesson then. The time that we give and receive.
Wow. Thanks, Miss Universe. Nieto or Ingo? Whoever's up for it.
Yo, wait, can I just like say, I feel like I might be overstepping with how I said a while ago. Because I feel like you guys are taking what I said the wrong way. What I just mean by that is like, you know, there are like some people who say like, let's hang out, but it never happens. That's what I mean. I feel like there are people like, if they tell you, like, there are people who go through that stuff and they tell you naman, so you just like, and I feel like that's not bad, but there are a lot of people that I come across to who act like they want to hang out and want to do stuff, but it's not genuine. That's only what I mean. Because I feel like I'm getting a lot of like, I feel like I'm getting these comments of stuff like that, which, you know, that's not what I mean. But yeah, okay.
Okay. Ingo, your turn. Since I see you with the hand gestures.
I was trying to give it to Nieto. You know.
Oh, okay,
Nieto,
I'm
you
game.
go
I'm
ahead.
game. Sure. Like, I have to give this to a good friend. Told me this when I was like
Wow.
really in my feelings about the life lost basically because you know I'm spending my best years inside. Parang there is no choice but to live in the moment and just live. That's it. That's all we have. Because as much as it's I guess it's necessary to like mourn what we could have had.
Mm-hmm.
You're living now, so just be here now and just do make the best of it. Yeah. And I guess that's really important for me since parang I do get to tend I do tend to get caught up. Yes, I tend to get caught up in like thinking of possibilities like if X happened, would Y not happen? Ganon. And you know, sort of that I realize that can be a distraction to just the work that needs to be done now to survive, to thrive, all that stuff. So ayun, I really do appreciate that, and I really do appreciate that friend very much. If you're watching, hello. Yeah, that's it.
Make good choices, Nieto.
I'm into that. I'm into that for sure because you're like in heaven or something right now. You're in the sky.
I like how you said the survive thrive thing. That was a meme earlier this
Oh
year,
my.
I think.
It was, yeah.
It's
It
not about
was.
the need to survive, you also have to thrive, right?
Oh man.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ingo.
Right now we're just surviving. Well, me personally, a lesson for myself. This could be not the most general thing, but you know, is that I really, really like people. And I realize that the most when I find the lack of presence of people around me. Because I was always, I feel like at my happiest and at my best when I had people who I cherished around me. And as much as I cherish my family and, you know, you guys, my friends, I miss them very much, and you really only know you love something so much when it's not there anymore. So that's a lesson I learned, but it'll come back eventually. Eventually, right? Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hopefully sooner than
For sure.
2045, please.
Yeah, not 2045. Whoever told me that, never mind. Yeah.
Please, not 2045. All right. Well, that was basically 2020 and the first half of 2021 in review. I'm hoping from this point onwards, everything gets better and that we start thriving instead of merely surviving. Am I right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
we need it. We need it.
Right. Okay, well, anyway, thank you guys for joining us. But before we say goodbye, we have a few words.
Yeah, so guys, thank you for joining us today on New Wave. We'd love to thank James for handling our broadcast, and of course to Sir Justin for always having our backs.
Thank you once again to our audience for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you all next time. So join us next Wednesday, June 30, where we will be interviewing a man who needs no introduction, OPM icon, concert king himself, Mr. Martin Rivera. I'm super excited for that. So please don't miss out. Follow us on Instagram at newwave.rk to stay updated. Catch the replay on Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM's Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter Live, all of which go by Radio Katipunan.
But most of all, thank you to all our guests for joining us on this amazing afternoon as we talk about all we talked about today on this episode of New Wave.
Yes, thank you for the fun and enlightening roundtable discussion, and we'd be glad to have you back for the same thing. Different topic, of course, anytime.
I'd be happy
So-
to. This was fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave, surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there.